So here we go. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to everyone who is listening or watching this recording in their own time. I'm absolutely delighted to have you here with us. Um, Today, or whenever you're watching this, is a webinar called Becoming Present. And before we even get started, there's just one thing I want to get out of the way right away, which is this is not a webinar where I will be bombarding you with information, where I'm going to ask you to do all sorts of exercises and things, and that you have to become very good at all the exercises that I'm telling you. None of that. This webinar is really more a space in which you get to show up just the way you are, just the way you are feeling in this moment. A webinar in which I will be sharing, of course, information with you. I will be giving you new insights, and also we will be doing some experiences. Even though also I don't have a strict plan of how it's going to go, I always go with the flow. But most of all, I want you to understand that this is a place for you to simply show up just the way you are and to receive whatever is there for you. So, like I said, I will be telling you things. If you want, you can make notes. If it feels better to you, you can simply lean back, grab a blanket, cup of tea, and even close your eyes and just absorb information, because anyway, there's some sort of transmission happening. So it's really a space for you to receive whatever is there for you. There's nothing that you can do right today. There's nothing that you can do wrong today. There's no hard work, none of that. So please take this with you throughout the webinar. And to help you with that, I'll also keep reminding you. Now, as we're getting started, there's something that I would like to do with you first. Since the theme of the webinar is becoming present, and I'm not 100% sure what state you're in right now. Maybe you just came out of work, or maybe you're off today, but your mind is still in all sorts of places and to-do lists and supermarkets and whatnot. I just want to take a moment with you together to simply land in this moment in our bodies and already make a first step with becoming present, being here, because this is also going to help you to receive the things that are coming your way a lot better than if you would still be, with the to-do lists. So we'll just take a few moments, do some sort of guided meditation, relaxation, whatever you want to call it. And what I want to ask from you when we do this is to make sure that wherever you are right now, that there is no partner or child or perhaps even dog that's gonna storm into the room and knock on your shoulder. Make sure that you are in a private space where you actually feel that you can relax, that you don't have to pay attention to whatever is happening around you. If needed, just put pause and come back when you've made sure that you are in that space, and then we can go through this together. So the landing into the body, back into the body, is such a crucial experience, exercise, whatever you want to call it, because obviously whatever we do during the day, it requires so much of our mind that we tend to slip away, move away from everything that's actually happening within ourselves. And a simple practice such as grounding yourself or coming back to the body will already make such a huge difference. And from some of you, I know also that you do things like yoga, or maybe you do breath work. So I'm sure it's nothing new for you. Nevertheless, I still want to do it because it's the proper way to start this webinar. In case you are completely new to this, don't worry. Again, there's nothing that you can do right or wrong with this. So as we're getting started now, I want you to make sure that you can relax your back into your chair or into your couch. It doesn't need to be like a slouching thing that you're falling asleep. keeping the back straight but relaxed so that you can lean back. And if possible, you can keep both of your feet flat on the ground. And if you're already comfortable with it, you can close your eyes. If you're not comfortable with that yet, you simply keep them open. No problem at all. So the first thing that we're going to do is take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as slowly as you can, you breathe out through your mouth. So deep breath in through the nose. And as slowly as you can, out through the mouth. And we'll do 2 more of these. Deep breath in through the nose. And as slowly as you can, out through the mouth. And one final deep breath in. And as slowly as you can, all the way out through your mouth. And then just continue to breathe gently in and out through the nose with whatever rhythm is naturally happening. And then see if you can bring all of your awareness to the top of your head, to your crown on top of your head. And from there, you scan down with your attention, with your awareness to the forehead, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your lips, your tongue, your jaw. And just notice if your jaw is hanging loose or if it's tightened up. And if so, see if you can allow it to relax. And then from the jaw, we move down to the throat and the neck. And just notice whatever sensations you might be feeling in your neck. Maybe it's relaxed, maybe it's tense, maybe it's comfortable, uncomfortable, whatever it is, it's okay. And from the neck, we go down to the shoulders. And as you arrive at the shoulders, allow them to hang just a little bit looser. Allow them to become a bit heavier. There's nothing for you to carry right now. And from the shoulders, we move down, upper arms, lower arms, hands, and all your fingers. Simply becoming fully aware of each of the body parts that we're scanning with our attention. And then we move up again through the arms, back to the shoulders, and see if you can let them become even a little heavier than before. And from the shoulders, we move down the spine, vertebra by vertebra, all the way down to the lower back. And just notice how it feels there, if it's again tense or relaxed or hard or soft, cold, warm, whatever it is. Bring your awareness to your belly. Just notice if you're tensing your belly or if it's hanging loose. And if you are tensing, see that you can allow yourself to relax the belly, simply allowing it to be. From the belly, we move down to the pelvic floor, the hips, upper legs, knees, lower legs, feet, and all your toes. And then we move even a little bit further down with our awareness from the soles of our feet. We go down into the floor, into the earth. And just imagine like roots of a tree from the soles of your feet, gently moving, digging themselves into the earth, giving you a sense of being grounded, stability, presence, knowing that you are rooted in the earth, supported by the earth, simply because you're present. And then slowly bring your awareness back again to the whole body. Maybe you want to wiggle your toes a bit, move your fingers a bit. Become aware again of the chair or the couch that you're sitting on, the room that you're in. If it feels nice, you can rub your hands together, make them warm, and gently place them on your eyes before slowly opening your eyes again, coming back. So, becoming present. The reason why I'm hosting this webinar, I've hosted it before as a workshop, I have a whole mentorship based on the topic of becoming present, is because it's such a simple concept and yet it's often so difficult for us. And but once we have it or once we're in it, it's so profound and it has such a huge impact on how we experience life and the depth in which we can experience life, the joy with which we can experience life. So I really wanted to dedicate actually basically all the things that I do in my work dedicated to life in the end. What I want for each and every person that I come in contact with is for them to experience life. And obviously, as you also probably noticed, being in your head a lot or being stuck in perfectionism doesn't feel like being alive. It feels anxious, it feels tense, it feels like you're dissociating from things. It doesn't feel like being present. So to me, that's such a shame that these things can cause us to miss out on the greatest happening that we'll ever have, which is life. And so, what I want to do in this webinar also is basically talk you through probably certain examples, certain insights that will help you to understand what happens in the moment that we overthink or that we're stuck in perfectionism, what mechanism is behind it, and what can we do to bring ourselves back again. Um, And also, if time allows, maybe look into another kind of practice that we can do to help the system as well. Just like we did this grounding exercise before, something else, something practical, something tangible that you can take with you for the rest of your life. And probably if you've read the website about this webinar, you notice that I've written a lot about something that I see happen often, the struggle that people have, especially after work, coming home from work, thinking, okay, I can relax. But instead of relaxing and enjoying and doing whatever they actually want to be doing in their free time, they are ruminating. They're thinking, oh, I should have said this in the team meeting, or why didn't I do that? Or it's Friday, but you're already dreading that Monday is just around the corner. So basically, the whole experience of being free and doing whatever you want to do is not happening because you're limited in your experience. And what I hear a lot also from women that I work with or what I see around me is that, for example, as a way to cope with this, either going straight to the bar on Friday evening, getting drinks in because it will help you to just uh, shut off the brain, sort of like to check out and to feel more present. Another coping mechanism that we hear a lot is going to, and I'm going to explain this, a yoga class once per week, which in that moment feels really good. But then once you're back at work, the same stress happens again. So nothing against the yoga classes. I myself am very invested in yoga, but just this concept of I'm doing 1 hour of being present and then hoping it's going to impact your entire life, it's just not going to happen. Because what I think is mostly forgotten within this, with regard to this struggle after work, is the fact that how you are during work determines how you are after work. If you spend your time at work being joyful, relaxed, inspired, then definitely when you come home, you will feel like that as well. Of course, by the end of the day, everyone is tired and we go to sleep. But how you are during work is how you are after work. So, this 1 hour of yoga or this drinking in the bar or whatever it is that you're sort of, trying to patch the wound with, it's not going to make the change if the 40 hours that you spent doing whatever you do for work are not done in a joyful, inspired, relaxed way. Of course, I understand also, and I know also from experience, work situations can be stressful, family situations can be stressful. So there's no illusion, that, oh, if everything's, just easy, then blah, blah, blah. Not like that. But what we will look at is, okay, so what can we do during the time that we're working or maybe dealing with family situations so that when we have the time for ourselves, we actually get to be present. Or better said, what can we do to be present at any time during our lives? So the example that I just gave of being at work, being tense, being anxious to make a like afraid to make a mistake, holding back what you actually want to say because you don't want to embarrass yourself, or maybe you have the tendency to be very people pleasing to keep everyone happy. Maybe you just don't trust your own talents yet, so you're sort of like, I might have an idea, but I'm not so sure. As you can tell already by the way I'm moving my body, it's a lot of this. It's a lot of tightening, of like walking on eggshells kind of thingy. And obviously, as you can see and as you can feel, this is not relaxed. This is relaxed. Being like this all the time is completely draining for your body, for your energy. It's giving your system the signals that you're basically in danger. Your nervous system thinks that something is wrong. So of course it's going to be very hard after work to then relax. So what can we do during work, during family situations, to help our system to already understand that it can relax? Now, I just named a few examples of things that you might be dealing with. Maybe you're not trusting your talents. Maybe you're very people pleasing, like all these specific experiences are worth looking into deeper. What is happening exactly for you, and where does it come from, and what can you do um, to break free from that, to transform that? But more generally speaking, I want to look at, okay, what can we do to basically have our system understand, okay, we're safe, we can relax, or better said, let's keep it with that. What can we do so that the system understands we're safe? Now, what I want you to know is that in the moment that perfectionism is kicking in, most of the time, what is actually causing the suffering is not so much the perfectionism or the thoughts, it's the judgment that we have over our own experience. For example, I'm in the team meeting and I want to say something, but I'm afraid to do so. And in that moment, I start judging myself for the fact that I'm nervous, that I'm getting sweaty, that my voice is trembling, for the fact that I've been working in this company for 5 years. By now, I should be able to speak up. I'm sure you recognize any of these thoughts. The judgment that comes on top of the experience is what most of the time causes the actual suffering. It's the judgment that says this is bad, that makes it a bad situation. And not only does the judgment make it a bad situation, the judgment makes it an unsafe situation. The judgment is what's telling your system, this is no good. So the concept that I want to introduce you, it's not even a concept, it's, to be honest, it's a way of living, one that I can, from the bottom of my heart, say changes everything, is what I like to call radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is the understanding, the knowing that this moment can only be the way this moment is. This moment can only be the way this moment is. In the moment that you're feeling uncomfortable for speaking up in the team meeting, in that moment, it can only be like that. When you're thinking about, okay, but maybe if I change this and this and this, then it would be different, then we're not in this moment anymore. Then we're thinking about the future. bringing the past in, everything else but this moment. In this moment, it simply cannot be any different than what it is. Or in other words, it is what it is. Radical acceptance does not mean it is what it is and therefore I'm doomed. It also doesn't mean it is what it is and that's just shit. Radical acceptance is neutral. There is no label attached to it. There is no, this is good, this is bad, this is uncomfortable, this is terrible, this is fantastic. It simply is what it is. And this radical acceptance will allow your system to understand that it's safe. And as a next step, it will allow you to actually choose from clarity, how do I want to handle? Let me explain this to you. As long as you're wrapped up in why am I like this? Why do I feel like that? I shouldn't be emotional. I shouldn't be overthinking. As long as you're spinning circles, redoing the same thoughts over and over again, you won't have the clarity to actually see what is truly happening and what does the situation, me included, need. So radical acceptance, this moment is the way it is. No judgment. It's not good, it's not bad. It simply is what it is. Will allow you to have clarity on what is the step that needs to be taken in this specific situation. Another example that I want to bring in that I think a lot of us recognize is the judgment that we tend to have over getting emotional about something. You made a mistake, someone tells you made a mistake, and you get emotional. It hurts you in a way because you're embarrassed or whatever, you didn't mean to, you wanted everyone to be happy. So maybe tears start coming up, and next thing you know is you start judging yourself for the fact that you got emotional. Or maybe you're supposed to be giving a presentation, and just before you start the presentation, your heartbeat is racing, you're getting sweaty, you're a bit nervous, and you're thinking, oh, I wish I would just be calm. And you start breathing to get calm again, and you start doing the grounding exercise because I'm supposed to be calm. Again, in those moments that we judge the situation, we're creating more unsafety because we're literally telling the way you are right now is not good. Whatever it is that you're experiencing right now is not good. Whereas instead, if we can say, it is what it is, okay, it is what it is. There's a little example that I always refer back to. There was a time where I was listening to an adventure podcast. Every episode, some super intense, adventurous person tells about the crazy things that they did in their life. And this episode particularly was about a British guy who, I know this is a different vibe than you were maybe expecting, who was a top sniper kind of guy in the army by the age of 16. And afterwards, he became like an expedition leader for super extreme expeditions. And in this episode, he talks about how he was the sort of the safety guy for an expedition where they went into an active volcano. I love listening to these things because I always find it very interesting to hear how do people in extreme situations handle themselves. I personally don't go into active volcanoes, but I also experience intense things. I'm a woman who feels a lot, and I think whoever is here, you're also like that. You feel a lot, so life can be very intense. So how do we handle ourselves in intense situations? And what this guy said, he was basically preparing the pathway for everyone to go down and with the ropes and whatever you have to do for that. And he said, I was standing at the edge of the volcano looking down at it. And in this moment, I noticed my heartbeat was racing, my palms were getting sweaty, my mouth was getting dry, and I knew adrenaline is kicking in. And then he continued. And I love this example so much because it's the perfect example of radical acceptance and clarity. He knows this happens, means adrenaline is kicking in, and he's not judging, oh, I've been doing this job for 30 years. By now, I shouldn't be so adrenaline loaded anymore. No, it's simply adrenaline is kicking in. That's it. And now I continue. So you can feel that there's a certain clarity behind it that allows him to then take the next step. Um, and the next step is, like I said before, what is needed. What is needed in this situation means what is needed for this team meeting to go well, what is needed for me to feel more at ease. Uh, what is needed also means what do I want? What is it that I'm longing for? So allowing yourself to have the clarity to take a next step and to really feel in what is needed. So to not overthink what is needed, but to feel, okay, I'm sitting in this meeting and I'm feeling actually pretty uncomfortable. What do I need right now? What am I longing for right now? Feeling into it. Just like we did in the very beginning today, we literally were just simply feeling the body. It's the feeling that will always bring you back to the present moment. And here's another trick that I want to share with you. I actually posted something about this yesterday. It's quite fresh, but I really like this approach. When after work, or maybe already during work, but let's say after work, you start ruminating about that team meeting and you start thinking, oh, I should have said this, I should have done that, because this is always when those brilliant moments come after the deed is done. You start to think, oh, I should have done this, I should have said that. But not only I should have said this and should have done that, it always repeats itself. You probably also know this, right? Like it's not just you think about it once and you think, oh, I should have done this, the end. You start repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And this is not helpful, as you know. It doesn't do you any good. So there's a simple tactic, really, that you can use to support yourself in those moments to get back to being present. And there's a little theory behind this. In psychology, there is something that they use to help establish a behavioral change. And this tactic is called if-then rules. And it's basically the same as when you're programming software, where you tell the software, if someone clicks this button, then show them this picture. The beauty of if-then rules is that they're super simple. And this is the key to creating something new, a new route in your brain, a new behavior, because in the end, okay, a little more details about this. In the brain, as you know, there's many connections, neuronal connections, and these can get stronger the more often we use them. They can break if we don't use them anymore. We can create new ones. So when we want to create a new behavior, this is best done or easiest done if it's simple for your brain to comprehend what you want. And an if-then rule is the simplest way to do this. Because it doesn't depend on your mood, it doesn't depend on the weather, it doesn't depend anything. It's a simple if-then condition. So in this case, what I suggest, and I'm doing this myself, so I can tell it works, but please try it out for you as well. If I'm overthinking, or if I'm starting to think I should have done this, I should have done that, then I take a moment to feel. So again, if I start to think I should have done this, I should have said that, then I take a moment to feel. Maybe you want to write this down somewhere or put it in different places in your house, whatever works for you. Just play with it, play and see how it works for you. What this does is it it literally takes you out of the mind and back into the feeling in such a way that it will help you to actually process what happened before by giving it space. So, okay, if I'm thinking I should have said this in a team meeting, then I take a moment to feel within myself. So, how do I feel about this team meeting? Well, actually, it was really uncomfortable. So, what felt uncomfortable? Well, actually, I felt like no one was taking me seriously, or I felt threatened, or I felt unsafe, or whatever it was. So, in the moment that you say, okay, what is it that I'm feeling, or what is it that I was feeling? You give space to the experience that made an impact on you, and that was the drive for the overthinking, so to say. And as you give space to that, it will help you to digest what happened. And once we digest situations that have happened in the past, they will simply dissipate. Instead of them staying stuck, here we go again, instead of them staying stuck in the system, this was such a terrible situation. I never wanted this to happen again. It was horrible. It was bad. And why did I do this? And why did I do that? Okay, so how did I feel actually? Well, I felt really uncomfortable. Okay, that's okay. Radical acceptance. I felt really uncomfortable. And as you go through this, you'll notice again this sense of relaxation and this sense of opening up. And as you can probably already tell, the different ways that we're talking about being present now, with the relaxation we did in the beginning, with the radical acceptance of whatever it is that we're experiencing, with the if then rule, giving space to what we're feeling, every time it's going from this to this. And the reason why this is so incredibly important is because life happens like this. Life is this. This is not life. Life is a continuous movement of growth, of situations, of changes. It never is this. This is when we lie in our coffin and it's the end. That's that. Life is this. So every time you do this, you automatically become present. You automatically become connected with life. Or in other words, every time we don't want to experience something, we actually fly away from it. We actually dissociate from it. But what we're talking about here and what you're longing for, because that's why you're here, is you want to be present. So the radical acceptance, the if-then rule, the tapping back into your feeling is actually going to say, okay, I accept that whatever is happening, no judgment, and I want to feel what I'm feeling. And then you're back again, present. So just taking a moment to feel in actually with myself. what do I feel now? What do I feel that I want to talk about? What do I feel that I want to do, maybe? And the reason why this works, it's cute because we're going a bit meta now. The reason why this works is because right now I'm fully here. I'm not overthinking anything. I'm not occupied with what if things go wrong. I'm simply here. Whatever is here is here. Whatever I'm feeling. So I'm feeling, what do I want right now? What feels good to me right now? Is there something that I want to talk about? But what I feel right now is that I want to bring in the body again, a bodily experience, so that it's enough with words right now for a moment. And I want to bring in something to feel the connection with the body even more. So, what we'll be doing is a practice that, if you've been looking into nervous system regulation, you might know this one. It's called the butterfly hug. And the butterfly hug is again one of those extraordinarily simple yet effective practices that I just love and use for myself and tell all my clients about. Because it's a very gentle and a very beautiful process. So, a nervous system regulation is basically a way to what we spoke about before, to tell your nervous system, to tell your system, it's okay, we're safe. And the way this butterfly hug works is that we're using bilateral stimulation by crossing or bringing our hands together and interlacing our thumbs. And what we do, I'll take off my jacket because it's a bit easier to see. What we'll do is that we place the palms of our hand on our chest with the fingers just below the collarbone. So you have these bones here, and you place the tips of your fingers just below it. So not on top of it, but just below it. And there's two different steps, so to say, involved in this that we'll be doing together. First, I just simply want you to experience the effect of the movement that we'll be doing. So what we'll be doing is that we're gently going to tap on our own chest, alternating between left and right. So you tap, 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 tap. And the way that you're tapping is that it's really tapping. You're not smashing your hands down. It's a gentle tap, like if you would tap someone on the shoulder, tap like that. A gentle tap. And see if you can bring all your awareness to your experience. If it helps, you can close your eyes. And just notice how it feels. Maybe you feel a change in the body, maybe you feel nothing. That's absolutely fine. For me personally, I noticed that there's a sense of grounding, a sense of uh, relief in a way. Usually, when I start doing this, I'll notice that I'll have like a big exhale or maybe a yawn. Maybe you'll notice that your belly starts rumbling, or whatever signs your body is giving you. Gentle taps. Okay. You can keep your hands. If you want to keep going, just keep going. I love this feeling. Or you could just keep your hands still on your chest or put them down, whatever feels good. So this butterfly hug, it's in a way it's telling your system, oh, it's okay, you can relax, you're safe. And you'll notice maybe it needs a bit longer, maybe it needs a bit more often. You'll notice that the system calms down. Now, the second step that I love to add to it is if I want to do this specifically while I'm in the midst of a storm or just after something happened that was intense for me, I love to use words as well. So, what that could look like, for example, let's bring back the team meeting again. So, before I was overthinking what I should have done, then I realized I'm going to drop into my feeling. And I bring in the butterfly hug. And I tell myself, oof, that team meeting was quite something actually. And I felt quite uncomfortable. And that's okay. And especially this one colleague that said something that made me feel like he doesn't take me seriously, that was quite painful actually. So as you see, I'm just bringing up all the memories that are loaded in a way. And while speaking to myself about it with compassion and acceptance, simultaneously, I'm telling my system, I got you. It's okay. You can relax or relax. You can, sink a little bit deeper into the experience, into knowing that it's okay. So, what I would like to do now actually is just for the last 5 minutes or so, I want to ask you to come up with a situation that you're currently, for example, dealing with, or that you were dealing with in the last days that really triggered you into perfectionism, anxiety, overthinking, any of those things that causes you to ruminate. Um, and what we'll be doing is we'll be applying all those elements that we just spoke about and see if we can bring a bit of relief within your experience of that situation and help you to bring you back to this moment, to being present. So take a moment to come up or bring up a situation that is suitable for this experiment that we're doing. If needed, you can press pause and just take a moment. Otherwise, we'll get started with it. So before doing anything, we're going to go step by step through this. I'll be there all the way. We'll start again by simply just sitting here, like we did in the very, very beginning. If you want, you can close your eyes. If it's too uncomfortable, you keep them open. Either way is fine. So we'll start again by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And slowly breathing out through the mouth. And see if you can become aware of your body sitting here. Just to scan through the body, notice how it is. Notice that it's here, that it's still supported by an entire planet. And then whenever you're ready for it, you can bring up that situation that really touched you or hurt you or caused you to overthink or caused you to feel anxious. Bring it up as lively as you can, as vividly as you can. So notice, where were you standing, sitting? Was it in the office? Was it at home? Who were there? What were you wearing? What did the room maybe even smell like? Make it really vivid. And as you make it so vividly, notice what it does to your system. Notice if maybe the body's tensing up. Notice if maybe the breath is changing. Notice if maybe you start to become sweaty. Just notice whatever changes are happening. And if nothing is happening, absolutely fine. Now, being here, present with whatever sensations you're experiencing, comfortable or uncomfortable, doesn't matter. It is what it is. In this moment, you are feeling what you're feeling, and that's it. That's okay. Now, see if you can slowly interlace your thumbs again and place the hands on your chest with the fingertips just below the collarbones. And gently start tapping. And still in this moment, it is what it is. Nothing needs to change. No sensations need to go away. You're simply being fully acceptant of whatever it is that you're experiencing or not experiencing right now. And at the same time, you're gently tapping, tap, tap, tap. And then if you feel like it, you can start talking to yourself with the voice of compassion and say what you want to hear. Oof, that was intense, that was painful, and it made me sad, and that's okay. Give yourself the words that you want and need to hear. And if you notice that there are certain thoughts coming up of how things should be different, then that's okay. They're there. It is what it is. But you choose to keep tapping and keep talking to yourself if you want to, if it feels good. And we'll do this just for a minute longer. Gently tapping, gently speaking. And then slowly bring your hands to a stop again. Take another nice deep breath in and a slow one out through the mouth. And we'll do that 2 more times. Deep breath in, and when you breathe out, see if maybe you want to make a sound with it, whatever feels good. And the last one, deep breath in and a slow one out. And then you can slowly relax your hands again. Open your eyes. Just notice how you feel. So, this process is something that you can apply anytime you want, anytime you need. And obviously, this is more appropriate in a moment where you're not at the team meeting, but you're at home wanting to digest it. But in the end, the essence of the process applies to the heat of the moment as well. So the essence of radical acceptance that creates safety, that creates clarity, that allows you to take the step that is needed, applies in the team meeting as well. So if there's one thing that I really want you to take with you, is that there's nothing wrong with any of the emotions that you're feeling. There's nothing wrong with any of the thoughts that you're having, the doubts, the perfectionism. There's nothing wrong with any of that. And the beauty of it is that you can decide how to handle it. And today we went through a process and insights that will allow you to do exactly that, that will support you in handling yourself when those things happen with radical acceptance, with compassion, with curiosity, even. And this is all I want for you. So, coming to the end of the webinar, I'm just looking at my clock and I'm just pretty proud that I managed to do it within the time. Um, Coming to the end, I want to thank you again for joining. I want to thank you for your openness, for your willingness, and for your bravery, because it does require bravery to say, okay, those things that I don't want to feel, I'm now going to create space to feel them, or radically accepting the things that normally you would have a judgment on. it takes bravery to do that. And I see you for it. And I thank you for it also. Now, if after this webinar you feel that you want more in-depth look at the things that you're currently dealing with, whether it's, like I said before, things like not trusting your skills and talents, or just a general sense of anxiety throughout life, or perhaps it's the, yeah, wanting to feel like you don't have to work so hard anymore, but you can actually relax into being who you are with everything that you do and everything that you experience, and especially with the sensitivity that you have. If this is something that you want to dive deeper into, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to see how we can make that happen. I work with one-on-one sessions. I also have a fantastic mentorship group program starting in a few weeks, the 25th of January, called Becoming Present, because, like I said, this is the essence of all the work that I do anyway. So if this is something that you're curious about, you can use the link in the email to schedule a call with me, or you can just send me an email or a message on Instagram and we'll have a chat. So, my dears, thank you again for everything. I wish you all the joy and ease and inspiration, and above all, a sense of aliveness. It's my absolute pleasure to be doing this with you, and I hope to speak with you soon. I hope to stay in touch with you, and that's it for today. Thank you.